He is recognized for 5 minutes. Mr. Scott.
Thank you, Chair Lady Waters. You know, we are running through a number of very important statistics, but the absolute most glaring statistic is this, that we really got to put on the table, and that is 40% of all the homeless men, women, and children are African Americans, and they only make up 13% of the population. Now, we can dance around a lot of things, but if we're serious about doing something for the homeless and dealing with this, we got to pull the covers off of this ugly thing called racism. And so I want to ask Ms. Romaine, I think you came closest to touching on this, if there are other members that would like to. And here's why. Many of us on this committee are working with Ms. Waters on a bill that will bring $13.27 billion to this issue. However, if we don't get under these covers and pull off the scab of this racism that is causing 40%, just imagine, if 40% of all the people in this country were homeless. That's what I'm talking about. So, Ms. Romaine, could you tell us, because you touched upon it, your thoughts on this? What must we in Congress do to deal with the racism that is here? Because it is shameful that 40% of all the homeless men, women, and children are African American. Thank you. Would you?
Of course, I wish, and I'm sure you wish, that I had a simple answer to that question. But if I could just reflect on two parts of it. One is, how does it come to be that 40% of people who are homeless are African American in the first place? The homeless system really has very little to do with that. That's the feeder systems into homelessness. So all of the things that you all are addressing, the disproportionality in the criminal justice system, the disproportionality in the child welfare system, these are two of the biggest feeder systems into homelessness. Housing discrimination, it goes on and on. So those things have to be addressed. They're not going to, the homeless system can help to address those, but we don't control those things.
Okay.
What we control is what's essentially a crisis system. But we have to look at the homeless system to see, are we entering people into the homeless system at the same rate, regardless of race?
Okay, ma'am, I only have 120. I definitely want to get to Mr. Stewart because I think there is a direct application to this. Mr. Stewart, you talked in your about two things, coordination and funding, working together. And that has been what has succeeded with the Veterans Program. It's the fact you're able to coordinate with the federal agencies and apply the money. Can we do this with respect to being able to deal with this huge disparity among African Americans and homeless?
I believe so, Congressman. I believe a lot of the groundwork has already been laid. A lot of the local level collaboration that we're talking about that was done in an effort to end veteran homelessness serves multiple purposes.
How would we be able to apply this big bill that we're working on? Because I think we can put some muscle behind what Ms. Waters is leading the effort on and applying some of this money to addressing the racism factor. I mean, we're going to get 13.27 billion to work in this.
I think we have to, Congressman. If we're really going to solve the issue of homelessness, we have to.
Thank you very much. Let me just take